Good day to you my fellow endoskeletons, I'm Kenetor and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to run through a bunch of stuff that you will want to know when starting out in Starbase, to help make learning the game just that little bit easier. So you're going to be jumping into Starbase soon. Well, first off, welcome to the community and the game. You're about to start a wild adventure as a sentient robot. Upon starting out, you will get a selection of 30 identical stations. Pick one, any one, or if agreed with your friends or company beforehand, the same one as they are starting out at. All 30 of these will share the same auction house and inventory, so don't worry if you need to switch later. You will appear here in front of the command center and will immediately be confronted with the tutorial. And while the urge to explore the station and the game will be high, I definitely recommend running through the tutorial as it gives you your first ship for free, as well as showing you mining, ship breaking and ship repair. A few handy tips for getting around since walking can be a bit slow. You can hit shift to run, which will deplete your stamina like power gauge on the bottom right. You can also fly with your jetpack, just hold the space key and use the WASD keys to move in any direction. After a certain height you will no longer fall back to the ground and you can stop holding jump. This magnetic boot effect can be turned on or off with the G key. Another thing worth noting is that you can also align to any surface. This is useful for getting around the different angled parts of the station and for jumping back on your ship later on. You can either quickly tap Q while looking at a surface, or you can hold Q and you will get these little feet pop up which will show exactly where you're aligning to. So give it a try. The tutorial will reward you with this ship, the Labourer module. This ship has been designed to work with the easy build mode system, and I'm sorry I can't show you this now as it's not in the alpha yet, but I'll be doing a separate video on this for you a bit after launch. Now before you head off, you should enable Lifeline. This tool will bring you back to the ship should you fall off, so hit escape and go to your settings. Under controls on the left, head to the MISC section. This wasn't bound by default in closed alpha, but I recommend setting this to F2. Also worth noting while you're here, the screenshot mode that turns off all the UI is F3 for all you screenshot junkies out there. When near your ship, turn on Lifeline and you should see a logo in the top right. While this is on, your ship can't run away from you. If you forget or have it off and you fall off your ship will fly up to 1,000 meters away before stopping automatically, and that's quite a flight with the jetpack. Another bit you will thank me for is this. Before you start flying your ship, bring up the universal tool on your levers and switch to the data tab. You are looking for the pitch, yaw and roll levers. When you find one of these, set the lever centering speed to 100. This should make the ship a little bit easier to fly after you've done it on all three. Without this, the ship tends to oversteer quite a bit. The tutorial will continue a bit and take you on your first mining run. It will lead you out into the asteroid belt. That's this big blue wall right here. It rings right around the planet and is over 2,000 kilometers deep and 600 kilometers tall at the center. After running through the tutorial, you will have noticed that it's given you some tools. The pickaxe is definitely the one you'll be using the most, so let's drag this from your inventory to the quick bar. You can do this with other tools too, and they will put items back into your backpack and switch them with whatever is in your hands at the time. The same press of the button will put it away again. If it flashes red, it means there is not sufficient space to put it back in your pack. You can help make room for items by storing smaller tools on your leg slots, and also remember tools normally have a limited ammo supply, so make sure you're always stocked up. While out mining, sometimes the sun will be behind the planet, and things can get a little bit dark. Press the N key on your keyboard to turn on the flashlight. Another thing you might want to be aware of for either turning it off or if it bugs out is the automatic collection of ore built into your backpack. So if your mining isn't working while connected to your resource bridge, either toggle this box on or off and things should get working. Sometimes you may have more people than you have resource bridges while out mining with a ship. To stop your backpack picking up bits of ore to its ore slots, you can also have this turned off. Also while mining, if you are looking for something specific, you can use the universal tool on the asteroids too. Pull it up with the U key, just hit the material tab and hover over the asteroid to see what it's made of. This tool can be used on pretty much anything to see what it is made of too. On your way back to the station, it's worth taking note of your surroundings when nearing arrival. Here are some key locations just in case the origin station is rearranged. Firstly, the market. It should have a big hologram sign above it, and we know this building will be changing at least on the inside too. But it is the place where you get the stuff for your ships, cosmetic armor for your endo, and weapons. Outside the market and many areas of the station are these blue zones. These are instance areas, and only you and anyone in your current group can enter the same instance. And most of these will also have a 10-minute despawn timer for your ships. Next up we have the job area. Should you be down on your luck in terms of credits or just a bit short to afford something, it might be quicker than mining to just go spend a short time here. That's right, the jobs you did in the tutorial are actually a way of making money too, without leaving the station. There will be a weekly cap on earnings from these, but still useful nonetheless. Then we have the original dev ship shop. Now most of the ships here are bloody garbage if I'm honest, but I'll always have a soft spot for the hauler. That aside, should you ever want to sell a ship whole, or at least what's left after you strip useful parts off of it, you can do it here. So head over to this landing pad at the side of the building, spawn the ship intended to be sold, and a few seconds later, that spawn button will become a sell button. This is one of the most widely asked questions on the Discord, so now you know. If you see someone who asks this, do me a favour and link them to this video. Cheers guys. There's another shop just below this one. It's a horrid shade of green and also labelled with the Sunny Ship Center logo. In here you will find a collection of both dev and player designed ships, and some of which have been further edited by the devs for better or worse. But one thing in common with all these ships is that they can be made from the materials found only in the safe zone. So unless you design your own, you'll be getting your first non-tutorial ship here. Although please note this shop does not contain all starter zone suitable ships. Ships like my Komatsu are also available. This one is only from the Kenetor ship shop. So be sure to check out the other shops too, just in case you find one you like. But what if you don't? Well, you're going to need to find the ship design workshop. In here you will find panels to enter the ship designer and start designing your own ship. Think of this as a creative mode where you can build anything within the game's limits and have that saved as a blueprint to either buy when you finally get all the ores you need or continue working on it later. The ship designer has a lot of depth with hundreds of pieces, and I'm waiting for the final version after launch before making any tutorials on it, just to make sure you don't get any outdated information. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss them. Another thing to note when wanting to buy one of your own designs is that if you have salvaged anything from other ships, if these components are not broken or damaged, they can be used instead of ore to make your design cheaper. Hiding above at the top of the station is the asteroid drop-off space that will automatically crush a whole asteroid if you bring one back whole, and then pay you a really low amount of credits compared to if you were to just mine it by hand, at least in closed alpha. We'll have to wait and see if this changes, but my money is that it won't, so I'd avoid doing this. Next up we have the Easy Build Hall. Not much is known about this place, but I suspect it will be where the Easy Build mode is activated, inside of an instance zone. Easy Build mode will be making its first in-game appearance in early access, so no one has used it just yet. Now at some point all of you will need this, the refuel buildings. Just head over here and connect your ship's resource bridge to the one at the edge of the platform, and the board will tell you how much it will cost to both refuel your propellant and how much to refill your batteries. Over on the other side of this board is a ship spawn terminal, so if your ship is already low on fuel, you can just spawn it here and refuel it before you leave the station. The ore towers. These are where you'll sell the majority of your ore after a mining trip, and the tutorial should bring you to these too. They are on 3 sides of the station, left, right and up at the top, near the asteroid drop-off. They have many platforms per tower, and towers are above and below the station. Now depending on population at the station, you might find there will be a queue for these. They also double as refuel terminals too, which is handy to do since your ship will already be connected via the resource bridge. Note, after getting some money in the bank, you will want to start saving ores to craft or buy different upgrades for your ship, and eventually a whole new ship. Money isn't everything in Starbase. Dotted around the station are of course ship shops containing 100% player designed ships. You have a small ship shop like my faction's K-Bot ship shop. The yellow shops up at the top are the rando shops. These shops contain ships from anyone and are not faction based. The black and green on the right are Okium Industries, created before Okium became a dev, but he still runs his faction. On the opposite side of the station, you will find Dynastar here, Quasar Systems here, Vintage is here, this red shop is empty so you'll probably want to skip that one, Epic Corp is here, and my good friends at Duratech are here. They all have many ships worth a look, so take your time and have a ganders. I've also done a few videos touring some of these shops. but certainly not all of them yet. One cool thing you can do in these shops is take a ship for a test flight to see how it performs. The button is right at the bottom near the buy button, and it puts you straight into the pilot seat after it's loaded. This can be really fun to do, but just be warned, some ships don't come with any instructions. Last but not least, there are multiple areas you can spawn your ship. These docks located next to a lot of the buildings stand out clearly, and you can just find a ship spawn terminal on the side or at the end of them, and you're good to go. Landing pads also have these and a telltale instance area too. Also outside most buildings that have landing pads you will find terminals to spawn your ship at too, so you won't be short on somewhere to do this. Now a little word on your ship, it uses two types of fuel. First is the fuel rods. These go in your generator to produce power for your ship, and these come in two forms. The blue rimmed Nergite rods are for the lower tier blue generators. Your free starter ship uses these. Later on, when you get a red or yellow tier 2 or 3 generator, these will use the Exorium fuel rods, and these are red rimmed. If you forget the names at the start, don't worry, just buy or craft the cheapest one and you should be good. Note, these rods are not filled up at the refueling centers, so always carry a spare or two if you can. The next fuel is actually the propellant. This is what your thrusters will be consuming to move your ship. Your propellant is stored in blue tanks that come in 3 sizes. Now, still with me? Good. Thanks for sticking around, but we're not done yet. Now, you may quickly grow bored of your dull grey mechanical body and want to jazz it up a little, so head over to the market. Now, a lot of this will be changing, but this shop should still be here. So get upstairs and come find this shop to be given a range of different armor sets to buy. In early access, my guess is that these will still cost only credits to buy, but they could use some ore too, and you'll find out when you get here. But to show you some examples, I'm first going to hold the Alt key and scroll out on my mouse. This will get you to the third person view. While still holding Alt, you can rotate around your character, but it won't stay as it will always snap back behind you when you let go of Alt. Also, please note third person is only available while moving around as your Endo, and is not available while flying a ship. Now here's a little preview of some of the different sets that are available to us in closed alpha. Some of these may change for early access, or they could all be different. Who knows, but there is quite a variety that the devs have made. Note also that some sets have different left and right pieces. Some sets only have one side, and some sets do not fill all the slots available. So if you want to put any of these sets on, after you've bought them, just hit the I key for your inventory and drag each piece to the correct slot. Now just outside this shop you will also find the auction house. You can come here to buy or sell things to other players through this system. And it's possible the global shortcut might have been for closed alpha only, but just in case it wasn't, you could access this from anywhere in the station by hitting the comma key. Once open, the auction house has a few categories, and you will find these will fill up with different things being sold over time as the game progresses, and more players start selling ore and parts. The auction house isn't really a true auction house though, as there is no bidding, only buying of items and ore at the offered prices. Later on we will get buy orders too, but I don't believe these will be available at launch. Now on to playing with friends. First, a meetup at an agreed location. Market or the command center is a good use for this. Now you can either right click someone's name in global chat, or you can do this with the social menu by pressing the O button. Here you will get a menu to send a direct message, inspect their CV page, add them to your ignore list, report them for abusive behavior or cheating, add to your friends list, invite to a group, invite to your company. Note this only works if you either run the company or have permissions to invite. And lastly, request a trade with them. For another player to use your ship, at least inside the safe zone, they have to be in a group with you. This goes for company members too. But don't worry, groups are temporary and you can leave at any time. When sending a trade, you must wait for the other player to accept, and this can only be done in close proximity. If you get sent a request, it will pop up in chat like this. Just hit tab to go to the cursor mode and right click the message in chat to accept or deny. Once accepted, this trade window will pop up and you can add items, ore and money to the trade. When both sides of the trade accept, the goods are transferred either to your personal inventory or your station inventory, and you can click here to choose. You also have one more way to communicate with people, and that is your mailbox. Head back to the social window with the O key once again and hit inbox. Here you can send messages to anyone you know the name of, and you can also send credits through this system too, but not items. Jumping back to the chat system now, there are a lot of different ways to chat. You start by talking in zone chat. This is pretty much a 5km cube of space that you are in, and you can always get back to this by typing /z or /zone and then your message. You can also type /s or /say for very local text only chat. It's a little more private and doesn't flood the main zone chat. There is also /y or /yell, which is a bit longer range. /st or /station will go to everyone within the station's range. Now this depends on how big the station is, so this will be tiny for new player stations and quite large for Origin. When you're part of a group, you can type /g or /group for group only chat. Are you seeing a pattern yet? All of these chats have different colours too. There is also /c or /company and /o or /officer, and both of these are company chat tools. One is company wide and one is to any rank in your company that you have assigned officer to. And lastly there is /w, then nickname, or /whisper, then nickname to send a private message to somebody. And if you receive a private message, you can type in /r to reply. This is especially useful if someone has a complicated name that you just can't be bothered to type out, or just to save some time. Now if you took the risk of leaving this safe zone with your completely brand new ship after the tutorial ship, and completely smashed your ship into an asteroid or got it blown up by a pirate, your ship will still be in your ship list, but it will be just listed in red and not reachable. If you know this ship is dead and you want to remove it from your list, you can decommission the ship. Its wreck will still be where you left it, but you will be removed as the owner of said ship. Hit the I button and then the ships tab at the top to get to your list of owned ships. Find the dead ship in the list and it may be listed as a derelict here. Left click it and hit the decommission button here in the top right. There will be a confirmation message where you have to type delete to confirm this action, so it can't be done by mistake. I highly recommend double checking that this is definitely the right ship before doing this, as if you do this to one that is already despawned at the station, this will be deleted from existence. Also another thing, when you smash or lose your ship, you won't be able to get back to Origin easily, so you can either transfer to the default insurance point here, or any other you have found around the station, or have someone come pick you up if your transponder still works. Now if you transfer, it is essentially suicide and you will leave all of your tools and anything on your body behind. In closed alpha we found the insurance terminals here, but I can't guarantee these will still be in the same locations, but have a look anyway. Right, I think that covers quite a lot. If you made it this far, thank you for watching, and if you see someone in need of help, please do send them this video. I want to help as many people as possible, and if you found it useful, please leave a comment, drop a like on the video, and please consider subscribing. And I'll see you in the next one. Kenetor, out.